Hello, everybody out there in YouTube land. This is Roll to Cast One Shot, and I am your host, Phil. And with me is the lovely going to the top left. That's
Who's
you.
that?
good.
That's you talking.
Who's you? Chris? Hi, I'm
Yes.
Chris. Great. Hi, I'm Chris. Yes. We're playing Wanderhome, a fantastic
are.
game, which I haven't played before. I don't think Sean has played it either. Sean,
haven't.
speaking about you, let's introduce you as well.
Yeah, hello everyone. My stream hasn't caught up yet, so I didn't know what side of the screen I was on.
Oh, I was kind of talking
yes.
about the Discord window as well, which should also.
I think ours are all different. You were
Yeah.
pointing at Sean.
It's
but
alphabetical. Discord
I
is
am-
alphabetical.
I'm Sean, and I definitely have not. I have not played this game. However, I am pretty sure this will be the second time that I've played a pigeon, because I think I played a pigeon on Trash Pals or something similar.
Very good.
So I've realized maybe this is the same character. Who knows?
Maybe that's your favorite animal.
Inside, you're a pigeon.
Yeah, maybe that's your creature.
My
Spirit animal.
Spirit animal.
You're a kind animal. Yeah,
Akin,
you're a tuned
yes.
animal.
There you go. Now my stream is caught up.
Look at that.
But yeah, that'll be me, and we'll talk more about him as we go, I guess.
Yes, I guess maybe.
Right.
Yeah, so here we are. We are Rollcast. We are 3/4 of Rollcast. Missing Ellen. But otherwise, us plus Ellen, we are normally a TTRPG podcast. And we are a monthly TTRPG stream, as you can see, because you're here watching us. Our mainline podcast is called Broadcast, and it's 10 seasons currently of a different TTRPG with a different GM. Every single season, over 300 episodes from everything cyberpunk, vampire, Pulp Cthulhu, Avatar, Witcher, and currently Dune. So we do a bit of everything, and this is why we do our monthly stream as well, so we can dip into other little RPGs as well and take them for the spin.
I think it's also kind of important to mention, because of what this stream is. We do a monthly stream. This is voted on by our patrons. Beat you to it. If you head on to Patreon, which is just above on the top of the screen there, patreon.com/rolltocast. If you're depending on what tier you're on, you have the ability to vote on what game happens per month. So we had Fiasco, there's No Place of Honor, this is No Place of Honor, and Wanderhome. And Wanderhome just squeaked in. There was a bit of a battle on the Discord to persuade people either way, because we actually had a 3-way tie, and it was one vote. Yeah, it's one vote that squeaked it over to Wanderhome. So yeah, that's why we're doing this here today.
Did you guys notice the theme for my choices this month?
It would independent RPGs.
Fiasco, This Is Not a Place of Honor, and Wanderhome.
Oh, no dice for any of them.
They're all diceless. Yeah, they're all diceless narrative games. Yeah.
I mean, Fiasco has dice rolling at the start.
Kinda, yeah. But they're all narrative focused games, kind of no combat.
Fun.
And minimal dice, no dice.
Compared to last month's game, which was, from memory, fairly combat heavy.
Yes, Pathfinder.
Pathfinder is fairly crunchy. Pathfinder.
The exact opposite.
To the chat, do say hi. Love to have you here. So, yes, ultimately what we're doing is we're playing Wanderhome. So Wanderhome is by Possum Creek Games. It was kickstarted quite successfully. We are playing the play kit version 1.1, which they released alongside the Kickstarter to sort of wet the whistle. So this is I chose to use this part of the game because a lot of people who are trying it out for themselves would also use a snippet of the game as well. So it's sort of a representation of your average.
And it's free. And it's free as well.
It's free.
We did a whole TikTok about that recently.
We did.
Exactly. Yes. This is a great way to dip your toes into RPGs. Find their free mini editions. Have a look. And this is what we're doing with their play kit. So it's got like abbreviated rules, less playbooks, and less kind of like options, and it doesn't have the art the main book. The main book has really wonderful art. So, what is Wanderhome? Well, it is, as I've hinted, a diceless game about journeys, about solving personal problems, about the love of the outdoors, about nature and being in takes place in the land of Heath, which is a beautiful and boundless land full of life and soul. It's also a land of animal folk, otter people and owl people and pigeon people, as we'll see, as we've had small outlines of our characters that we'll go through as we go. So for livestock, instead of animals, we have bugs. We have stag beetles, bumblebees, and crickets and things like that for to sort of replace our farm animals. Lovely pastoral kind of farming world. There's a culture of hospitality that pervades Heath, so wherever you go, welcome you. They'll invite you in. They'll feed you, give you water. They'll give you somewhere to stay, even if it's just in the barn with the bumblebees. You'll always have somewhere to lay your head down at the end of the day. Mm-hmm. And a very wholesome game where people are fundamentally the people that you meet are not going to be evil or sly or duplicitous. They're not always perfect. They're not without struggles. But they're not out to do ill for the sake. Those who are weighed down by worse things tend to be those who are freighted with some sort of power. Such their evil, if we can call that, tendencies are because of the weight of the. But we probably won't be encountering local people, their local problem. So, how does it work if we don't have dice? Well, we will create our characters and the kith and kin that they know. We will make a place and decide on its nature, and that will be the start of our journey. And then we will sort of work together to tell a story. In this case, I am the guide. You don't need to play with a guide. You can have everyone just collaborate to tell the story. And they give you a bunch of sort of phrases that you can help direct the story, such as, let's do this instead. Where to next? Hold on a second. And very importantly, no. And so those are our safety tools. Saying no. Anyway, we obviously we also employ the X tool here at Roll2Cast across all our games, where you are uncomfortable with anything, you throw the X or verbally say, and we will quickly put an end to content that is worrying the person questions asked. We will change, accommodate that person. I find that's the simplest and cleanest ways for our group to stay safe. So we encourage any TTRPG group out there to find their own safety tool. It's very important. So let's play some Wanderhome. Is everyone ready for a lovely, wholesome Sunday morning or night if you're overseas?
So if people want to follow along, they found a Spotify playlist called Wanderhome Ambience. It's got a whole bunch of tracks, some from The Lord of the Rings or The Hobbit, some from Hollow Knight, which is a beautiful soundtrack, but it all gets me. I've been listening to it as Phil has been talking, and it just hits the mood quite right. So,
hey Bronx, welcome in. The first question I have for you guys how long are we expecting this journey to last? If we have any expectations at all.
Like 2 hours.
Yeah,
2 hours,
2 hours, 2.5 hours, something like that.
It's
Yeah.
oddly specific, but okay.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe a bit more in game time, but no. I feel like we're not going to cross a season. I feel like this is going to be like a snapshot, a fleeting instance in the lives of these creatures.
Yeah.
Do we want a more pastoral and upbeat journey, or a world that lingers more heavily on trauma and recovery?
Chris,
you know my answer to that question.
Trauma and recovery, please.
Trauma recovery. Yeah, so we want to lean into the slightly more kind of like pain and healing aspects of the setting. You agree with that, Sean?
Yeah. Sorry, I spoke for you, Chris, but was I right in that assessment?
I'm happy either which way, to be completely honest. This morning, as my world is, but I do love a world with pain, healing. Sure. I'll go along with
if we have time.
I'll go along with
if
the
we
tone
have
of this
time
game.
for healing.
We have time for some healing, but no, that sounds lovely.
I did forget one mechanic though. Talking about healing, is tokens.
Yes.
Tokens you'll gain for doing something kind of generous or selfless, telling a little bit of narrative, and then you will spend token to fix things up. So they're really, it's intentionally vague, I believe, but generally spending a token means you create some sort of tangible change, even if that's within a person.
Yes.
And gaining them is a reward for selfless.
And Phil, how do I win?
You
enjoy yourself.
Get that.
That's good. That's good answer, Sean.
Nice.
I like that.
Do we want a more personal journey focused on mundane issues and quandaries? Do we want a heavier journey filled with mysterious and...
See, my leaning is always towards more magical forces and such, but I feel like maybe in the context of a shorter game like this, the former might be more apt and in keeping with the more base and simpler tone of Wanderhome.
Yeah, I'm cool with whatever.
Awesome. Okay, we go for more personal issues that people have, and the magical will probably still be present. This is a land of small and forgotten gods, way up to great sky gods. It's kind of animist. There are gods of the river and the field, gods of the rain, little shrines, and you can converse with them and take their wisdom too. Do you want a single person to act as a guide, multiple hating guides, or no guide at all?
My question is, Phil, are you going to be playing a character as well?
No, I'm going to be the guide. So I've kind of answered that question.
Yeah, I was curious if you were going to play a character as well as being the guide, sort of thing.
No, I thought I would make you guys like a happy
duo,
traveling duo, and kind of be a guide for you as well.
Cool, awesome. Guide, please.
Thank you.
I want the other ones. I don't like
multiple rotating guides.
Yeah, there we go.
During our 2-hour session,
we do that.
Yeah. Is there anything else that might come up that we want to watch out for?
Nah, I'm good.
Nah,
all good.
We've played together for 5 years.
Yeah, we should be okay.
We generally know each other, and if there is any problems, we got X and stuff.
So I think we should make some characters and make some kith as they come up. So kith is an old English word for neighbors, your friends, people you meet and form connections with, as opposed to your kin, your familial relation, blood relation.
Okay, I spent the entire time not understanding what kith was.
Kith,
I got its context, but I just didn't know where it came from.
Your community.
Yeah.
Okay, so Who wants to kick off? What playbook are we playing?
Sure. So I'll kick off with my playbook. So the playbook I chose is the playbook known as the Moth Tender. So carrier moths travel across the. Is it the
I
half?
think it's Heath. I think it's Heath.
Heath. Okay. Carrier moths travel across the heath, bringing news, letters, and tiny boxes. You wander the land, keeping an eye on these moths and their towers. You are alive. Your care is consistent, prompt, and in small packages.
Chris, what are you playing?
I am playing a Firelight. Firelights. It is easy to get lost in the darkness and the deep. Firefly at your side will always guide the way. You are alive. Your care is forward-thinking, mutual, and shining bright.
Excellent. Sean, do you have a
Yeah.
name in mind? Name and pronouns?
Oswald.
Oswald, excellent.
Oswald. Oswald is they them.
Excellent. And are they a bat, a pigeon, a persistent animal, a horse, a rabbit, or a dogged animal?
They are absolutely a pigeon.
Pigeon.
Yes, they're
A pigeon messenger? I'm
pigeon.
right, I
Yeah,
never...
right.
That's right.
I almost went with bat.
That's good.
But pigeon kind of spoke to me when I got the voice, because for long time broadcast listeners, I usually get the voice first for a character. I was like, yeah, that's more of a pigeon voice. So I went pigeon.
And name?
My character's name is Soren. He, him pronouns. He's an owl.
Owl.
Soren? Is that S?
Soren.
Oh, S-O-R-E-N.
Not with an A, with an E.
I don't trust you.
Silent.
You're the antagonist of Mass Effect.
And luckily, these two playbooks are on adjacent pages, which helps me a lot.
Oh yes, they are.
Raccoon, deer, a nocturnal animal, olm, which I have no idea what that is.
An olm is a European axolotl. They are blind and a lot thinner and longer.
Wow.
Oh. They kind of have stubby arms compared to axolotls, where they're kind of a little more snake-like. If you want to have a Google of them, they're quite
that's
cute,
what I'm doing right now.
Everybody
Crazy!
Google olms. A sphinx cat or a steady animal.
I'm an owl.
So a nocturnal animal, an owl. Excellent.
I did consider going with the olm, but because I love axolotls.
Yeah.
Where's my axolotl thing?
Where's my axolotl?
Here's my axolotl.
Here's my axolotl. There's my little axolotl.
Ah, look at
Cute
you.
little. Yeah, but I've gone with an owl because it's also one of my favorite animals.
Excellent.
Owl.
Back to Oswald, our moth tender.
Yes.
I would like you. There's a list of 9 traits here. I would like you to choose 2 that you are.
Yes.
Aren't. They
Absolutely.
are calm, trusting, curious, proper, studious, cheerful, blunt, masculine, and feminine.
Yes. So, the 2 that Oswald is he is they are studious and curious. And what they are not is blunt and masculine.
They are not masculine.
They're not masculine.
Interesting.
Are curious and studious. We're not blunt. And Chris, your traits.
Yep.
You can always try. You try to always be 2, and you know you can't be 2.
Yes.
They are patient, correct, present, discerning, positive, resolute, manly, effeminate. Enough.
The 2 that I try and be are manly and discerning. And the 2 that I know I can't be are patient or resolute.
Okay. So you try to be manly and
discerning. And I can, or I struggle. I know I can't be patient or resolute.
Okay. Impatient.
see, what I love about this is because each playbook phrases it in different ways, like you've just heard. But for example, the poet is choose two that people assume you are based on your writing, and two you actually are.
Yeah.
That's a fun way of doing it. Oh, I love that.
Let's go for our look. Well, now.
Yes.
So, Sean, you have to choose 3 or 4 to describe your look. I won't read them all out because they're a bit longer, this list.
I've
Give
got
us
3.
your 3 choices to describe Oswald's look.
So Oswald is very recognizable in their tweed vest, their small reading glasses, and they're never without of their satchels full of paper. So yeah, there's like a little sling and just bursting with paper. Absolutely nerd bird. I'm a nerd bird.
Nerdy pigeon, studious nerdy pigeon with little glasses, sack full of paper, and
full of wonder and curiosity.
And Firelight, Soren, 3 or 4 to describe your look.
Soren has darkness-piercing bright eyes, a box of medical supplies, and a deck of cards.
Oh, interesting. Go into slightly larger things here. We will go through Sean's first. Choose 3 letters or packages you carry.
Yes. Also, are we going to do the ask one to the left and one to the right
After we
questions
finish
as well?
our characters.
Cool. Awesome. So the 3 letters or packages that Oswald carries is and should I include the afterwards the where they're going as well?
Yes. Yeah.
Because I attached one to
3
each.
letters or packages and where they're going.
Yeah. So I have Oswald has a wax sealed love letter for a cheerful young rabbit who just moved to a big city. Oswald has a bottle of rare and vitally important medicine for the leader of the last outpost of the rebellion. And finally, Oswald has a letter, I'm assuming that is of a terrified kid escaping from a bad situation for the proper mayor of a hidden village. So I'd like to get to all 3 of those in the next 2 hours, if that's all good with you.
Chop, chop.
Great.
Those aren't just flavor at all.
Those are all story hooks.
Yes.
That's what this section of the book is.
Yes.
That's what that section is.
And Chris, your story hooks, you have a friendly... you
have a friendly
firefly, your companion that stays by your side no matter what. They sleep during the day and light up at night. They are always luminescent. Right? Choose 1 or 2. Describe how you met.
So, my uncle left them in my hands the last time he saw me, and my firefly is watchful. And fireflies have always helped my family for as long as I can remember, and they are proper.
It's a very dutiful firefly. Friendly, dutiful firefly.
A watchful, dutiful firefly. The owls and the fireflies go way back.
Before we go into our questions, there's one thing. This one is less about story hooks, it's more about sparking a little conversation and telling people around the table about your character. If you weren't doing it live, I guess, if you weren't doing it in person. So for the moth tender, we have choose 2 things you carry with you at all times, and tell the table about them.
Yeah, so I was interested to see kind of what came to me in the moment. I think that the first thing that Oswald carries with them is the wisdom of their caring adoptive mother, who reminded them to always be themselves. And we say adoptive mother because Oswald doesn't actually know who their parents or their family at all were. Their first memory is being abandoned on the ground floor of a particularly scary forest until they were picked up by a badger mum of all things. And so they were definitely seen as the adoptive runt of the litter, as it were. And they grew up with 5 Badger brothers, and despite the more kind of masculine and boisterous nature of their siblings, their mother always encouraged them to embrace their feminine, more sentimental, more caring and nurturing side. And so that's what they try to take with them as they go across, because they're no longer with their family. They have struck out now that they're of age, but that's kind of something that Oswald tries to keep with them in their journey.
And one more thing.
So the second one is, yeah, fuck it, why not? A walking song taught to you by an adventurous buddy you used to travel with. There was actually a lovely little grasshopper that Oswald used to travel with. There was a time when Oswald, especially early on, didn't fly as much, but kept quite low and used the creek to follow along, because they weren't bold enough to kind of venture out into the plains where there was no path. And the grasshopper didn't talk much, but whistled and sung quite often about various different mundane activities, whether that be something as simple as walking. Every time the grasshopper would eat, there was an eating song. There was even a song before they went to bed, the sleeping song. And it was never anything particularly important. They were just mundane, obvious things. But the walking song particularly stuck with Oswald.
Excellent. Love it. And for our firelight, choose one. Always keep lit with you. One you won't let go of, even though the lights died out.
The one I always keep lit is a rusted iron lantern that my mother carried before you. That is where we store fireflies when they are resting. That's their little home. That's their little area where they go to keep warm during the day. I don't know if that's scientifically accurate, but it's lore accurate. And the thing that I don't keep lit is a box of expensive beeswax candles gifted by an adventurous ex-lover as a going away present.
Wait, we both described him as adventurous. Was your ex-lover a grasshopper by any chance?
No. Mine was a cat.
Oh.
And cats and owls don't get along. Unfortunately. Eventually
it was a personality difference.
Yeah.
Like Capulets and Montagues.
Something like that. Yeah, exactly right.
And what did they say to you when they gave you these?
What did they say to me?
Yeah. What did they
they didn't say anything. Sorry? No, they were left. They were found on a little package on the what do you call it? The thing like the little like the thing that you have just before you leave the house.
Like the side table.
Like a hat stand?
Side table. Side table. Yeah.
Hat stand. How?
Yeah. With a signed note. That was just their name.
Keep those with you, even though the lights died out.
I just don't like them.
Yeah. But metaphorically, the light has died out from the relationship. That's what they're getting at. I feel like a metaphorical light has gone out.
Mm-hmm.
So let's go to our moth tender.
Hello.
You're meant to ask one to the left and one to the right, but there's very few of us.
Well, one goes to Chris and one goes to Phil.
Yeah, you that way. Yeah. So choose one for Chris.
Okay, Chris. I'm looking at the firelight one. That's not helpful. Chris, what is it about my job that so appeals to you?
It's important, just like firelights are important. Delivering mail, delivering letters, those are important things to do. It's a service that you do for others, and like all services, it's important.
Be kind to your post people, everyone.
Mm-hmm.
And I guess, Phil, maybe I do need to give this one to Chris as well, because it's about the other characters. Yeah. Why do I risk my job and career to help you?
That's a good question. Why do you risk your job and career to help me? I don't know.
I can give you another question.
That's an answer.
Oh, yeah, that's true. You don't know.
I don't know why you do that.
I kind of like that.
I don't know. You keep doing it.
Why the hell does this pigeon know me? Yeah, cool.
I am discerning, but I
just haven't discerned that.
Yeah.
You haven't discerned the simple fact that maybe.
Well, I try to be discerning. Maybe
Yes.
I haven't figured you out just yet.
Excellent.
What's your deal?
Why? Who? Not who. Why?
Who?
And Chris, you have 2 questions for your companion.
Bring it on.
Where do you wish I could guide you, and why can't I?
I wish you could guide me to my biological parents, and you can't do that because not even I know who they are.
That's sad, and I love that.
Yeah.
And what did I show you that you didn't want to see?
How cruel the world can be sometimes. I was definitely, Oswald was definitely coddled, for better or for worse, and was given a very nurturing upbringing, and that has served them well. But it does also mean that they have always and unflinchingly seen the best of everyone, and sometimes that is not the most safe thing to do. Sometimes to be discerning and to be a little bit more hesitant about who you're with and when you're with them is just as important as being kind.
Agreed. Cool.
So those are our characters. Those are the little hooks about them, little obvious or less than obvious aspects of their nature. Now, as we said, there were some journeying tools that you could use, push things along. But there's some things that you can always do as well as your character. So Sean, as a moth tender, you can always write something down on a piece of paper.
Yes.
Tell everyone what phase the moon is in right now.
Oh, great.
Follow the moths. Fidget. Say, I have a letter for you. And get they get a token if they accept the letter, and ask, "Is that the news?" Chris, you can always pet your firefly, notice the time of day, illuminate something in darkness, keep walking, say, "Watch your step," ask, "Do you need a hand?" And they get a token if they accept help. So those are things that you can lean back on reliably if you don't know what situation. Always do one of those things. That's very basic toolkit about and what as
I have a very basic question just on how Oswald and Soren would operate. Because we are more kind of anthropomorphic, or at least animal folk, as it were, so there's a slight difference. Do you reckon we travel by walking or travel by flying, being as we are 2 birds?
I like the idea of us flying for short distances. That seems cool.
Yeah.
Also means we can just avoid Phil's story beats if we want to.
I don't know if birds have flight in I would have thought of them having hands rather than.
Well, it was funny because as soon as Chris mentioned that, he had a deck of cards. I'm like, how would either of us use that?
You have
very
hands.
funny.
You're animal folk.
That's good.
Look at some of the art for the game. It's always people walking. I'm gonna ask that you walk, please.
Also, I'm just very
the road itself.
I'm very upset by the idea of an owl and pigeons with like human hands, is what I'm picturing. It's very upsetting to me.
Their pinions, their long flight pinions, turned sort of cartoonishly into little hands at the end.
Oh, sorry, I'm just looking at some of the artwork now. Yeah, that's cute. Awesome. Okay. Yeah, I'm down.
You're down.
Yeah, I'm down. I
You're
can
down to
see.
walk.
Yeah, I can see what they're going for here. Yeah, we're just slower travelers.
Yeah, I see a blue jay with a pair of hands.
Yeah, that's what I'm looking at too.
Yeah. All right, let's walk.
Well, hang on.
All right, let's hang on.
The first place. We will always begin our journey arriving somewhere new. Create our first new place, pick out 3 natures, or choose randomly. Each of these natures serves as one of the building blocks. Okay, so I'm going to nominate you, Sean, as the order we're going in.
Yep.
Would you like a comfortable, verdant, or liminal?
Okay, now I'm looking at the nature page here as well. I would like, or let's start out a little bit strong. Let's start out with a liminal space.
Whee! That's what I wanted you to pick.
Liminal, yeah. So which of the 6 liminal natures would you like to pick?
Is that me still, or is that Chris now?
Yeah, it's you still, yeah.
All right. Let us come to a bridge.
A bridge, excellent. He makes some notes quickly. Lost some things back over.
Actually, can I change my mind on that?
No. Yes, of course you can.
Tower. That feels like a destination that we start at. Like it's a bigger space to work with than just
tower.
bridge.
Okay, Chris, I'd like you to choose a nature, comfortable, verdant, or liminal.
Let's go with verdant.
A verdant nature. There are 6 here to choose from. Would you like to pick one or random?
I'll pick one. Swamp.
A swamp.
Now mash them together. Tower swamp.
And I will choose randomly. So D3 to begin with. Got a 1, so it's a comfortable. So we got 1 of each. A comfortable nature.
Let's see if we get what I wanted.
2. So
Damn.
a garden.
Swamp garden. I'm gonna get more
Power
coffee.
swamp garden. Now, these natures can be metaphorical, be a literal tower, and it can be emotionally a swamp. That is a possible. So we go through each of the natures we've selected and choose 2 aesthetic elements and 1 folklore element from each. It's a conversation, tossing around ideas, mixing things together. You're working to interpret these natures literally or as metaphorically as you like, as I was saying. While the chalklands might be literally a hillock, they might be metaphorically. I'm not sure what happened to Chris. He disappeared.
Chris is quickly getting some coffee.
Okay, good. We will begin the discussion with the tower.
Yes, I've got the tower up here. A tower is anywhere that reaches so high up to the sky that it feels like it scrapes against the clouds.
Okay, so it's anywhere that reaches high into the sky. That could be a literal building, or it could be a very high rock formation or something like that.
Yeah.
The tower, this place can always describe something very small and far away, spread concern around structural stability, and make someone dizzy or disoriented. give them a token.
Got you.
So that's a thing that this place can always do. We have to choose 2 aesthetic elements. A narrow, barely stable entrance, winding staircase all the way to the top, shining light, warning of danger, roosting moths in the rafters, not enough space for everything packed in, a lonely soul responsible for keeping everything in working order, and something else of your own invention. We'd pick 2 of those together.
Well, the one I definitely would love to put in is the lonely soul responsible for keeping everything in order. I
The
think
sort
that's
of the lighthouse keeper figure.
Yeah, that's exactly what I was thinking.
Do you agree with that?
Me?
Yes?
Yeah.
Lovely. So we got a lonely soul. This is our first kith. First definite kith. We have an idea for what they are.
Ooh. What would be in a tower? Can we make it something that should be? I was going to say, can it be something that should be scary but isn't, like a spider?
That's still scary.
That's true. And you know what? Also, Chris, for you, I shouldn't do that. So not a spider.
Right.
Oh, what was that, Phil?
Try to stay away from insects and stuff, which tend to be the sort of like lower order of attention. Well,
got you.
You want to stay on mammals and lizards and things. Yeah.
Well, how about we go with what you said, a goat?
A stoat is what I said, but a goat also works. I like a goat.
Goat's great. Goat's
a
better.
goat. A cantankerous goat. Okay.
Also, what's a stoat?
A stoat's
it's like a weasel.
Oh, right.
Long.
Look at me, I'm learning things.
Yeah.
Yeah, Pokemon. It's one of them.
Ah.
It's like a Pokemon.
It's like a Pokemon. That is indeed annoyingly correct. Again, it also can be said about every animal. So we have
not every animal. Not yet.
Another aesthetic element. Does anyone have any proposals? We got the lonely soul of the tower.
Oh, it's stoat is fucking adorable.
Chris,
do you have any of those other elements there?
Yeah, let's pick the roosting moths in the rafters. That seems like an obvious plot hook for you.
I was going to say I am a moth bearer.
Yeah. So this makes me lean towards it being an actual physical tower. That it has a keeper and it has moths in its rafters makes me say this is a real tower. It's a real place. It is like a way station for moths, a natural place for you to come to as a moth tender to get new messages and drop off your messages, and have your moths tended to. You would have been, dare I say, drawn to this place, saw it in the distance, stopping in here is a natural starting place for us. Really nice. And in here you have a fellow moth tender, a lonely soul, the goat who tends to the moths. And now we have to choose a folklore about this place as well. Our choices are the observatory of the lightning dancers, the first of the moth towers, the ghost that walks the stairs, and something else of your own invention. I would like first of the moth towers.
Yeah, I was kind of digging that as well.
At least in, that's what people say. Many other towers claim the same thing. But the locals around here, they swear up and down this was the first one.
And I feel that is something that Oswald is very acutely aware of, would have read it in letters, in stories over the years. Because also that's the other thing about Oswald, being that he is a curious being, he absolutely has always read every single letter that is ever in his possession.
He reads everyone's letters.
He's a kid. Yeah,
he does.
Oh dear.
Cannot help himself. He tries to do it in secret. He's such a curious being by nature, and especially since he became aware of what the world is like, it's the safest way to learn about people. You don't have to get up to them and learn about the awfulness of nature. But because honestly, there have been some bad letters in there as well.
Yeah, they probably would have. Hey.
Yeah, and so he's also had to.
I would say you don't do anything ever with the information.
No, No, it's literally just to. It's almost like having a book.
Yes.
Just
It
book of other
gives you an
people's lives.
insight into people's hearts.
yes.
So let's have a look at the swamp. This was, of course,
Also, just because
chosen-
I'm interchanging a lot, their pronouns are they he.
Okay.
Because I keep changing, so
that's
all
what it
leaning.
feels right.
Yeah.
Yeah. As you chose it, have you got this up, Chris?
But
The second one, which is
swamp? I just
the swamp.
Sean read
I
out
do
the first
now.
one, which was
Sure.
nice.
Swamp is a place where the air is thick as the mud.
Ugh.
This place can always describe the heaviness of the world. Can always show tension caused by stagnation, and can always bog someone down and give them a token. I love that. That makes me happy. That's the place that I would like to live. Wish I could show everyone everything.
We need two aesthetic elements. Can you begin, Chris?
Yeah, absolutely, I can. It always has a sinking feeling.
Sinking feeling.
And it always has. Oh, yeah, Sean, do you want to pick the other one?
Unless you had a different one, I just love having people listed into it. I would love a capricious spirit offering to help.
Mm-hmm.
Capricious spirit offering to help. Can you tell us a little bit about this spirit?
So it's a Johnny Walker.
What label?
Well, you decide.
Blue.
There you go. I think it absolutely should be a toad, a big fat toad.
That's the kind of the spirit form it takes.
Yeah, it's not a small frog. It's just a big like bulbous pussy toad.
Is it Mr. Toad from the book series?
I have never read Mr. Toad.
He's capricious.
Who is he?
I would say.
Oh my god.
Prone to shifts of.
He sure is, yeah.
Fancy. Good book. Give it a read, Sean. Or watch the movie.
Oh, I also think he absolutely has to have a top hat.
Nice. Yeah, you just nice.
Yeah, a little tiny top hat that almost dips to the side slightly. Always stays on their head, but just jauntily kind of tips to the side.
Nice.
Excellent. And we need a folklore about this place. The suggestions are the treacherous lights deep in the dark, the travelling bog, the shrewish witch and her magic cabin, or something else of your own.
I like the lights. There's a lot of light in this space. And treacherous lights in the dark.
Drawn to the lights.
That feels more for you. There you go.
There's good lights and
for
bad
you
lights.
There. Okay, excellent. We have a tower, a swamp, and a garden.
Right, where's this goddamn garden?
A garden is a verdant nature.
Yes.
A garden is a place where everyone has plenty and the world is overflowing with gift. When you arrive at this place, decide what this place has in. We will be arriving at this place first. Do we want to wait to begin, or do you want to decide what it has in abundance now?
Abundant garden. Yeah, we'll get to that. Do we want to do the aesthetic elements? Is that what you're asking?
What if we do the aesthetic and the folklore and see if something?
Then maybe we'll see what comes up. Okay.
Yeah.
This place can always describe the abundance all around us, threaten the health and vitality of the abundance.
That's fun.
Ask, what do you need most right now? Give them a token. They can't find it here.
I've got an idea for it already. Cool.
Two aesthetic elements. So we have trees overburdened with fruit, outrageously large gourds, prismatic butterflies, carefully trimmed hedges, irrigating fountains, kind soul unfamiliar with the hardship of the world.
You know which one I'm going to choose.
I'm going with outrageously large gourds. This was my pick, so I'm going to kick it off.
Cool.
This is so there's a swamp. In the swamp, rising out of the swamp is a tower. But at the base, amongst the swamp, is a little walled garden that the goat keeps, and it's like his vegetable garden. It's how he sustains himself, right? And one of the things he grows in this muddy soil is actually quite fertile, and he grows these enormous gourds. They just naturally grow massive. So yeah, there's always giant gourds in this little tower's garden, ended by the goat. Who wants to pick another element for?
Chris, unless you had one in mind, I was going to suggest the kind soul. Obviously, unfamiliar with the hardship of the world, which also seems dangerously close to who Oswald is as a person.
I like it as a hook.
Yeah.
For you, I think it's wise to have something similar to you that you can either reject or accept.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was also going to suggest, also based on those elements, that just as a potential for us to think about, what if what this place has in abundance is false hope?
I love that, Sean. I love that. You're the best. That's great. I love that. I love that.
You're leaning
so
more,
much.
I think, into the feeling of the game, which is things can be both material and metaphorical as you like.
Yes.
So false hope is a great one for a garden to have in abundance. Takes the concept and gives it a very interesting, emotional twist to it. I really like it.
Yeah, I agree. I'm great. No.
You are great. You are great. This should be said more often.
Chris, would you like to? Thank you. Would you like to take the folklore?
Yeah. Obviously, it's the old god in the old tree.
Oh, I didn't even see that. That is fantastic.
I did strongly consider the burning of the corn woman, which is another suggestion. Yeah. One of the folklores about this place: the peach tree's prophetic blossom, the old god in the old tree, or the burning of the corn woman. You know what? Screw it. I'm going with the burning of the corn woman.
Burning of the corn woman.
Yeah, you've got to tell us more about the burning of the corn woman. What the heck is this?
Is it an actual
woman? The corn woman must be burned.
Oh, it's still a practice that goes on to this day.
Oh, absolutely.
Is it so? Every season has a festival to take place at a certain festival.
No, it just happens when the garden needs it. The corn woman is burned.
It's how they maintain their hope.
So they make a woman out of corn and they ritually burn her.
That's what you've been told.
Okay.
That's the folklore.
Yeah.
Is that every season the corn woman is burned.
Ooh.
Who knows what that is? Give me an edge, I'll take a fucking mile. Edgy bullshit.
Burning of the corn woman.
That's why I'm great. Because I'm edgy as fuck.
Edgy.
So I feel like we have a pretty good idea of what this place is. It's a tower rising out of a swamp with a garden of false hope being tended at the bottom. There's a lonely old goat who tends to it, and his kind gardener who tends the garden itself. And there are a few sort of like mystical elements attached to it. The precious toad of the swamp who offers to help. The prestigious rumor that this is the first moth tower, and
of course,
the legend of the burning corn woman for each season. Garden of false hope. Go around and each say one common type of animal folk that live in the area. This doesn't mean everyone in this place is, for example, a salamander. It just means that if we're in a hurry, we can quickly imagine some newtish friends. So, Chris, what's one type of animal folk in the area?
Snakes.
Snakes. Snake folk.
Snake folk.
Dragonflies.
Damn, that's good.
Insects are lower order. Can you think of a
Can they not be in there? Oh, okay.
Bugs and insects are like animals are to us. It kind of
Right,
helps us
they're
have
actual animals.
things, gives us as animal folk animals to interact with, if you get my meaning.
Yes, we must have slaves and things of higher
exactly.
order.
We must have lower order beings to
Okay,
differentiate
let's
ourselves.
go weird. Chimps.
Chimps.
There are monkey people here.
Monkey folk.
I love it, Sean. Snakes and monkey people.
Snakes and chimps.
Snakes.
It's an
chimps,
odd
and
swampy
goats.
place, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It's weird that there are chimps in these swamps, but you know what? There are.
there are, and they're scary.
Yeah.
Monkey
Bite
chimps.
faces off.
There
What about you, Phil?
are going with this list, there are hyena folk.
What? That's cool.
Chimps on hyenas.
Oh god, they're mounted.
Sort of misunderstood, laughing canine like, I guess.
Yeah, they're
Their laughing sounds mean. But they're very family oriented.
yeah. They've got this awful rumor about them that they are constant bullies because the idea is that they're always laughing at you. No, that's just who they are as people. But they're actually really kind.
The snakes, on the other hand.
Yeah. You know what? Hyenas are amazing joke tellers, actually.
They're funny. The chimps laugh as well.
So we have our characters, some kith, the odd couple of kith here, and have our place we will arrive to. And now we arc.
I was gonna say, is this a natural break point for us? Like having one half be the setting up and then the other half be the tail, or where should we?
Should we ask these questions and then do the break, or ask them when we come back?
Which questions?
There's 3 questions that you ask out loud at the start of the session. There's one you ask secretly.
Let's do those actually. So if we get all the questions and stuff done, and then we can get into the
So every time we gather to play Wanderhome, we will answer these questions together. What sort of place we just travel from?
Ooh. Where did we just travel from? Could we have just traveled from a big city?
Yeah, I think that's good. A big city.
Left the city. The tower and the swamp. Do we feel our journey has been long?
No.
No.
Not yet.
It feels early in the outset. Having the city is a kind of a starting point.
This is like the first port after the city.
Yes. This is like
there
the
are
first
many
leg
ports.
of the journey.
Yeah.
Is there somewhere we hope to go?
Collectively or individually? I guess collectively.
However you want to answer the questions. Open as it can.
Somewhere that we're needed.
Somewhere that you're needed.
That's good. Yeah,
That's
I like
excellent. You hope to go somewhere that you're needed. Excellent. Every time we gather to play Wanderhome, we'll each answer this question silently in our heads. Will I someday? And with that, we will take a little break. And when we come back, we will begin telling a little story of Oswald, Soren, come to power. So, folks, please stand up, stretch, get something to drink. We'll be back in about 5 or 10 minutes. We will go on to play a little bit of Wanderhome.
Amazing.
Back in just a moment.
See you soon. Ah!
I have Windows have it's because I'm green. That's why. Poof. There we go. Poof. We're all back in our squares. Excellent.
Hello.
Sweet. Back in square.
Sean is inserting things into other things. We have returned. We're playing Wanderhome.
Phrasing it like that.
Hell yeah.
Gross. Don't be so lewd.
Lewd and rude. And ready to play Wanderhome.
Let's embark on our journey. It is early in the great arc of the year. Month of till soil. Season of leap. First season of the year of the water lily. Oswald and Soren have set out big city, hoping to find somewhere needed. Travelled out into the world. I've been wandering roads for a couple of days together when the night falls on a particular day in as you enter the area known as Dylan's Hollow. Sun is dipping below the horizon and Firefly waking up, lighting up. Go down a winding path, air suddenly thicker, wetter than the air you've been traveling. The trees here are stunted in growth and tangled by drooping mosses, vine. The place feels a little more oppressive. Open landscape I've been traveling. More of a mood of somber mood of reflection, stagnation, perhaps.
Can I ask?
And as you take a moment to lean against...
No, Sean, you cannot
No, I
ask.
can't.
You take a moment here to lean against a tree and take a rest, as you hope you might find somewhere to bed down for the night. What would you like to ask?
We are, being that we are in till soil, and till soil comes after the month of frostbite. Are we fairly new into the start of the year? Like, is this like a welcome change, or are we quite well into it? So we've been adjusted to this new, away from the oppressive cold.
Let me answer your question with a question.
Ooh.
After the festivities of the New Year that you in the city, and meeting your new friend Soren, did you stay in the city long, or did you immediately set out with the...
I think that it was actually meeting up with Soren that caused him to move out of the new city. It wasn't because he wanted to stay there. It was that Oswald was quite anxious and like being around so many new people and like this, like he was almost overwhelmed, but it forced him into not making a decision. And it's only after meeting Soren that he realized that, oh, there's safety in this one person, and I can have a more of a focus. So I think he was in the city for maybe a few weeks doing particularly nothing. But then upon meeting up with Soren, there's this idea of, oh, this is who I'm meant to be with. This is a person that moves and believes in direction and like a clear path. Maybe that will lead me to somewhere where I'm needed rather than somewhere that I'm lost.
So if the journey was your instigation, Soren, how long after the New Year's festivities wait before getting back on the road?
We waited around it. We saw the sights, and I had to figure out what Oswald was as a person before we left off. So, like 2 weeks.
Okay,
We're
so
at
it's
the
not
end of the month.
the year is beginning. We're somewhat into
Very fresh.
Till Soul. till soil. We're not right at the start. The weather is shifting. The ground is thawing. You're at that transition. Still wearing a couple of layers. You're starting to need to take them off at the height of the day.
Yeah, I was going to say, because you say that it's a night where we're trying to settle down and find a place to rest.
We always need somewhere to
Always need somewhere to rest. It's definitely a case of Oswald is just starting to get used to the idea of feeling more comfortable again, because in the month of chill, it's like the air's bitter. It's talked about as being dreadfully cold, and people don't travel outside of town. So he's kind of just slowly acclimatizing to being on the road, as it were, again. And he's just starting to get his wings, as it were, and feel comfortable out and about. So there's a bit of a slight rejuvenation, a bit of hopefulness of, this feels right again. So he's relaxed.
That is a shame, because the thing that you're pervaded with as you enter Dylan's Hollow is thinking. Something about this place feels antithetical to describe. This forward momentum had has been arrested in it. As soon as you descended into the wet, murky air, some of that forward momentum left your heart. Felt perhaps that same feeling fled in the city back into.
Soren, this is indeed the correct path, is it? There's not a. Have we gotten lost, or?
No, we haven't gotten lost.
Oh, you sure?
Yes, I'm sure.
It just appears, this is just myself talking, that this is not altogether a cheery place, or
why would all places be cheery?
Oh, I'm not saying that it needs to be. I'm just saying, shouldn't we want it to be?
No.
I thought cheery would mean safe, and we wish to be safe.
Cheery doesn't mean safe necessarily.
What does cheery mean?
Cheery means upbeat. It means positive. It means happy. It doesn't mean safe.
Yes, well, those are all good words. Positive words.
Sometimes, in the appropriate amount of time that it takes, but it doesn't mean that they are always right. A hospital is not necessarily a cheery place, but it's a safe place.
You're quite right, of course. And he's like nervously like hopping around every now and then, just looking, almost expecting something to go wrong. As he's trying to almost keep his attention towards Soren to be polite, and he wants to hear what he has to say, but also like just very wary.
Soren is unblinkingly staring him down. Not trying to intimidate him, but just
with a firefly just illuminating.
Slowly waking up from his iron lantern.
Well, well, perhaps there is a reason. Reason. Are you hungry?
Soren? That's not me. I wouldn't
sure?
do something so uncouth.
And a luminous toad appears from behind the tree you were leaning on moments ago.
Oh. Hello?
Greeting. Welcome to the Hollow.
Is this your is is this your house? Have we intruded? My apologies.
Spirits don't have. They have places. This is mine. And you notice this jauntily top-hatted toad folk is slightly translucent, and you're instantly spirit of this place, rather large and posing for a spirit, but that's toads for you. They take up a lot of room, and this one certainly is wants to be the focus of your attention.
Well, my name is with his little feather hand. My name is Oswald, and this is my friend Soren. Who might you be?
I am Spirit of the Hollow.
Oh,
Of course.
my apologies. Did you have a name we could call you? I don't just want to call you Frog, because I assume you have a name.
Not a frog. Not a
Aren't
frog.
you?
I'm a spirit.
Oh,
I am the Hollow, and the Hollow is I. Names such fleeting. If you would like to give a name, that is fine, but I will discard it as soon as you go on your way.
oh, I would very much. Oh, Soren, would you like to do the honors?
Naming it.
Yes. I don't want to
Let's
take
call
all the
it-
fun.
Let's call it Spirit.
Oh, okay.
Good enough.
Spirit it is. Well, Spirit, my good friend Soren tells me that we are meant to be here. I'm not entirely sure.
Where else would you be, other than the place you're meant?
Oh, yes, they're very true. I just came from the city, and I did not feel I was meant to be there. I'm a carrier. You see, I deliver, and he points to his satchel and pats it. I deliver messages to those who need them, and everyone needs messages.
A moth.
Oh, you know of us.
I lied. Yes, your profession is old as the swamp. Tower. That perhaps is where you are meant to be. First moth tower, so they right in the heart. I can take you there, should you like.
Oh, I have no issue with Soren. Can we take spirits with us? Could Spirit join us?
Yes.
Hooray! Yes, absolutely. You can join us, Spirit, please.
Well, you are joining me, I would say.
Oh, of course.
For my help. The Hollow should have some small offering. Don't you think?
Oh, well, and they open up their little satchel and start rummaging through, and you can hear them be like, oh, I know it is in here somewhere. And they pull out a letter, and it is unmarked on the top. Well, I actually once upon a time came across this letter. It was delivered to me. However, it does not have a name, address, a person it was addressed to. So, but I've always kept it with me because I feel I would know who it was meant for when the time is right, as you would understand. And well, the time feels as good as any. I believe this could be a letter for yourself and the swamp.
And he reaches out his spectral hands. Do you place the letter in his hands?
Yeah, he tries it, like hovers it just above and then drops.
It just drops through his hands into the mud and then just sinks into the water, and he knocks. It's soiled beyond, soaked and soiled quickly beyond any rescue. Would you say this is something you hold dear?
In the same way that all letters do, I think he definitely holds it dear, and that letters are meant to be read.
Take a token, because you gave someone something that you hold dear.
I will use a
Gain a token.
battery.
You do things like revel in the grandeur of the world, give of yourself, or offer help with for nothing in return, and you can spend a token to offer resolution problem, ease someone's pain, keep someone safe, allow someone to connect, that sort of thing.
Amazing.
They gain tokens in one hand. The other? Well, would you light the way? I will take power, the heart of Apollo.
Oh, Soren, I think he wants you to light the way.
Yes.
Oh, sorry.
I realized that.
Oh, I just thought you didn't hear.
And Soren will get very close to his lantern and whistle, and the firefly will head on up and in front.
You light the way, and night sets in properly. You find yourself looking through twisty turns of Dylan's Hollow. There are places where a rickety boardwalk has been erected over the shallow pool of the water. It's slick and slimy underfoot. Easy to slip here and lose one's footing. And you feel kind of hemmed in. Air itself is thick. But this oppressive air doesn't seem to affect the spirit at all, as he waddles cheerfully on, nattering to after a short while, as the air grows cold, night sets in, and soon all that can be seen is lit by your firefly. Almost out of the blue, find yourself in front of a small ramshackle wall, crumbling, that surrounds a garden. The path that leads through the garden leads to the foot. Tower rises into the night sky above you. See its base, its shape above you is suggested by how it plots out the stars above the darkness.
Oh, me oh my. It's a rather tall tower, taller than any of the buildings we saw in the big city, don't you think, Soren? It's magnificent.
It's tall.
Yes. So tall. Is that where we're going? Are we heading towards the tower? It's beautiful.
It's a good rest stop.
This is where you're. Didn't you say so?
Oh, yes, I suppose I did. Yes. This is where we're meant to be.
Where else could you be?
Anywhere, I guess. Oh. Soren, where did he go?
It's still around us. It's a spirit.
Oh. Could have sworn he was a toad.
Both. The same. Doesn't matter. Let's move. Shall we? Up the tower. Is there a door or entrance?
So you have to go through the garden first.
Yes.
The garden. You enter through the gate. You push it aside. It's loudly. Rusty hinges, and your firefly light catches an enormous gourd on your right as you go in the vegetable patch. As tall as a person. It is old dried gourd from last year's harvest. Not growing, but kind of stored in the garden very imposingly. It sort of leaps out of the darkness at you.
Can I actually spend my token at this moment?
Sure, what would you like to do?
As we're walking through the forest, the garden, and Oswald catches sight of this magnificent gorge and gourd rather, and all kind of the wonders and the pleasant colors and such. I'm going to spend a token to allow someone to connect with me on a personal level, as I'm allowing someone the opportunity to do so. It doesn't say that you have to, but give you an opportunity to, as he almost starts to ramble on a bit of a personal story. As I was always kind of looking, is like, oh, Soren, I've never actually been in the presence of such wildlife. Not in some time. You see, I've read a lot about these gardens and these forests, but that was really only in my adulthood. As a child, I was, I guess you would say, sheltered. Did not know my parents, so but my mother, who I saw as my mother, told me lots about the world, but I never saw it. Not until you, not until recently. So I guess what I'm trying to say is I thank you for the opportunity to see such wonders that heretofore I'd only read about or heard about. It's as beautiful as words are, and they are beautiful, it's much more mesmerizing to see in person, and I have you to thank for that.
Yeah. You're welcome.
Absolutely.
That you. Yep. Sure. Great.
Soren, what do you need most?
What do I need most?
Right now. What do you need most right now? That's what the garden's asking.
Oh. Silence.
Can you find it here?
No.
A token.
Great. Yeah. Yeah, that good. I think Soren begins putting his head down and trying to look through the garden as if to find silence in the plant matter and the gourds. And the chatter continues. Yes, Oswald. Good. Yes, you know about the world now. That's good. That's a good thing. It's always there. Yes.
He's looking at you expectantly, as if he's waiting for you to match the level of conversation that he obviously brings, but that obviously doesn't come.
No.
Not in the same way. But they don't read the awkwardness of the situation. They just read it as your personality.
Yeah, I think that's fairly apt. Soren crosses his arms and pets his firefly. Shall we just you can keep talking if you want to. That's fine.
And he absolutely does. I feel like he almost continues walking but continues talking at the same time.
I feel like I should say something in response to you, but I don't think that's what you want. Let's just keep going, shall we?
Oh, absolutely. I don't want anything. It wasn't anything that needs to be reciprocated. I just wanted to show my appreciation for you and your friendship.
You don't want anything?
Well, sure. Everyone wants things, right? But not in this moment. I'm content. I've got, as the spirit said, I am where I need to be. I am with who I'm meant to be with, and we are heading towards somewhere. And we are in such a beautiful. We are surrounded by beautiful things. What more could I want?
Would you consider these gourds beautiful?
Of course. Are they not?
Can you describe the natural beauty of the garden?
Yeah.
Get a token.
So yeah, I think what, and this kind of speaks a bit to the false hope of the garden is that
Garden of false hope. I forgot.
It speaks to abundance in this idea that it is bigger and more fruitful than it actually is, because all the fruit that is there and the vegetables that are there that are growing are larger than life. Like, they are a little bit more oversized, but there's not a lot of it though, and it's not representative of the wider world. I think in a lot of areas that they have come to, especially coming off of the month of chill, everything has been in a state of, like, if not decay, lack of abundance, and a feeling of sparseness. And that is kind of a bit of what has been permeating throughout Heath for a while. But coming into this garden, it's this interesting thing where, even though there was a sinking feeling at first, that he's almost distracted by the garden, by these oversized, almost unnatural fruits and greenery and lushness, that goes kind of in opposition to the way the world works and the way that the world actually is.
Sort of a haven against the darkness.
Yeah.
Experience that for a moment and get a token for describing that to us.
Token back. Thank you. And as he continues on, well, if the beauty of beauty is that if you do not find something beautiful, I might, or if I don't, someone else that passes by might. I truly believe that everyone finds everything beautiful. It's just not always shared, because beauty is individual. Beauty is, what's the word? Subjective, but the presence of beauty is objective.
Run that by me again.
Oh, well, what people find beautiful is subjective, but the presence of beauty is objective. There is always beauty. It's just, well, it's a little bit more of a random happenstance on who notices the beauty and who doesn't.
Do you mean omnipresent rather than objective?
I guess. What does that word mean?
Means, like, always there. Omnipresent rather than objective. Objective is a perspective thing. Subjective is a
as you're philosophizing, moth about with a wingspan of maybe 2 hands like this, just gently alights on Soren's head while he puts this out with you. You notice,
I guess.
Soren, it's quite large, but it is quite softly flown.
No, he notices. I think he notices Oswald's any eye look towards it, which I'm guessing probably happens pretty quick.
Yes.
Yeah. I think in the second it's like, and you're not listening. What is it, Oswald?
Oh, well, upon your head, there is a moth. Oh, perfect opportunity to explain what I mean. This moth, beautiful. I think, personally, objectively. Whether someone else realizes that or not is really besides the point.
Do you think that it is objectively beautiful?
Yes.
But it's so. But if I were to look at it and didn't think it was beautiful, what would you say to that?
Well, just because one thinks something or does not notice something does not mean it's not there. You don't have to notice the beauty for it to be present.
But so everything is beautiful?
Yes. You're understanding it. Yes, absolutely. You are beautiful.
Even sad things are beautiful.
Well, yes. Sad things, I have found in my experience,
Most beautiful.
lead to learning, lead to understanding. I've had many sad things. My loneliness as a little pigeon was very sad indeed. I've told it to people, to wanderers along the way, and they have been sad themselves. But I tell them that, sure, it was sad, but it's still beautiful because it makes me who I am today. Without the sadness, how does one appreciate the happiness?
The door of the tower has opened during this conversation. The light, flickering light, spilling out over the two of you. You are framed by this new light, and as we turn to see this new interlocutor, the moth takes flight in the air and dusts you, Soren, a little bit of the dust from the mothy dust from its wings. Who is waxing lyrical about beauty and sadness in my garden? Ungodly hour.
I'd like to notice the time of day.
Yes. What do you notice about the time of day?
It's not that late.
Do you say so? Do you say so?
I just like to notice it. Maybe I just look up.
Soren, I think it's another spirit.
No, I think this one is actually. This one's. You're not a spirit, are you?
How astute of you! No, I'm not a spirit. In front of you stands a goat. A goat with on crutches because he has one leg missing below the knee, and he's holding like a candle holder with the other, with his hands on his crutches like this, tucked under his armpits. His candle holder there. He's got long horns which curl several times over, and a goatee, as it were. And no, not a spirit, just the keeper of the moth tower. Are you coming in, or are you going to annoy my vegetables?
Oh, I did not mean to annoy them. No, this is your tower?
Well, I keep it.
Oh,
Mine.
Oh, yeah. But yours more than anyone else's, I assume. Then, are there more moths
inside? God.
Oh.
And he turns around. He's obviously annoyed at having to stand there, and his candle retreats into the darkness, dipping slightly as he takes steps with crutches.
Tower keeper.
Yes.
Do you want a hand with that? I can take the.
Not coming out asking for help.
He reminds me of someone. I can't quite put my finger on it. As he looks past you, and not putting two and two together.
Come on, Oswald, let's go.
Yes. And he hops along behind Soren.
Soren almost mimics the actions of the goat, except with his firefly.
Like with it like dipping slightly.
Yeah, but not intended. It's just
Yeah.
a moment of fun.
So you enter into the tower. The floor is rough hewn stone. Echoes underfoot. It's dark and quiet in here, but you find yourself after a very small corridor into a what seems to be a kitchen, home area, and find your host already sitting at a table, but he has hastily thrown down some hunks of bread and cheese on plates, very simple but wholesome fare, onto two seats at the table. And he has, even though you're not that far behind, quickly popped those down, and he has thrown himself into a comfortable chair nearby, with his good leg up on a rest and crutches now resting against the side of. Come. Travelers on the road, have something to eat.
Do you get many of us?
No. Most people go around the hollow.
Oh, why would they do that?
You're a moth tender, so you were drawn here.
Oh.
Meant to be, I dare say.
So I've been told.
You, though.
Oh, this is my friend Soren.
Firelight.
Mm-hmm.
Leading some lost souls through the dark.
Sure.
Yes, he's been very helpful.
I have.
Well, are you going to stand there, or are you going to accept my hospitality?
Oh, sorry, I did not mean to be rude. Yes. I've never quite seen this before. What is this delectably looking food?
It's cheese. It's bread and cheese. Never seen bread and cheese.
Oh, not this particular bread. It's more curiously shaped.
He sort of shares a look with Soren, like, really? How sheltered is this guy?
Yeah, Soren. Something about shepherding through the dark, lost souls, innocence. Something.
Something about that.
It looks lovely.
Shepherd them earlier in the evening in the future, could you?
What would be the point in that? Wouldn't be shepherding through the dark then, would they? They can find their own way.
Yes, but I wouldn't already have been in bed.
Well,
are you tired?
He bristles at that question. He finds it to be somewhat rude.
He doesn't. Oswald does not notice.
Soren does. And he nudges Oswald.
Oh.
Shouldn't just ask people if they're tired.
Oh, I did not mean any offense rather. I simply meant, is there something we can do to help with one who is tired? Are you the only one here, or are there those to help you?
And there is as you say that, narratively summoned from the
as
shadows.
If working within the constraints of a story.
Yes.
That is very, very quaint.
From the flickering shadows at stairs that lead into the tower, see a small goat boy peering around.
I hate that phrase. For some reason, I hate
Goat
that
boy.
phrase.
Goat
boy is awful. Can you say kid?
A kid, yes, literally a kid. Quite literally a kid. They're in little set of overalls, and they are like, dare I say, sheepishly peering out of the darkness to see the new guests.
I would like to use the token at my disposal to reveal something hidden about the person in front of you and ask them what it is. So, Phil, depending on what is narratively easier for you, something hidden about either Goat Man or Goat Boy.
Goat Kid.
Goat Boy. The thing that is hidden, fear their father.
Oh.
Fuck.
Fear his anger. Not physical fear. They fear disappointing him. They fear his moods. It's not a physical abuse kind of fear, but it's a that you can see by how hesitant they are. They don't want to be told off or yelled at or something like that. That is the kind of fear that we're talking about. Just to clarify, it is not my father is horrible to me, but my father is very snappy. I don't want to anger him. The fear about this book.
Oh. Hello. Who might you be?
Bobby.
Oh.
I'm Bobby.
Hello, Bobby. My name is Oswald.
He looks to his father as if to say, "Is that right?" Almost.
Mm.
Kind of like, yes, you're up now. Supposed to be in bed.
Oh, I dare say the little boy is curious. I can relate. I'm rather curious myself. I saw your wonderful tower from
He's curious,
very far away.
but he's not diligent, conscientious. Probably because he's up all night reading by candlelight.
Reading? What is he reading? I love reading.
Bobby comes down and he's got a book clenched in his hand. Well, let me tell you, this is a story about the dragons and the things that they...
I've read about dragons. I've never seen one. Wish to one day.
No one's seen one.
So, Soren might have. Soren, have you seen a dragon before?
Only in pictures.
Oh, ferocious things, aren't they?
In pictures?
Yes.
Sure.
But,
He's already, plopped the book down in front of you, and he's finding the picture of the dragon that appears on page 237.
Oh, and he looks to the father. You've got a splendid young boy, such imagination and curiosity. It reminds me of a younger me and an older me. Just me, really. Did you teach him these ways to be imaginative? Surely that comes from yourself.
No, I didn't. Oh. I taught him about tending moths, tending gardens. Yet, I still need help with both of them. Those always in a book.
Curious, isn't it? We always need help with something. I need help finding my way. Soren needs help, I'm sure, sometimes. I haven't had to help him necessarily yet, but I'm sure Soren has needed help in his life, and this young boy needs help from his father to be guided through very important times.
I need help getting up and down the stairs.
Exactly.
Where is my boy when I need him? Wandering the hollow, lost in his imagination. Yes, we all need help, some more than others. And he snaps the book closed.
Oh.
Yes, Father. Sorry, Father. Sorry, Father. You are right. I should be in bed. I should be resting. Lots of work to do tomorrow. Nice to meet you. Sorry about that. Sorry,
Bobby.
Sorry. Yes.
Do you eat dinner with your father?
Yes. Eat dinner together every night. Yes.
And you break fast together?
Yes.
Do you play together?
He looks at his father. He shrugs to say, answer the stranger's question. It's nothing to do with me.
Well, and Soren will pull out his deck of cards and deal a hand to each person at the table. Say, diligence, structure, rigor, focus, attention to detail. I can teach you how to play canasta. It's a team
Father leans
game.
forward slightly. That is a good game.
It is a good game.
We haven't had numbers time. You seem to have unlocked a little bit of a sense of fun from him, ever so slightly with your decision.
Yeah, I'm going to spend a token to give something that has the potential to change someone fundamentally. And what I'd like to do is, the reason I picked canasta is because it's a team. Do you know canasta, Phil?
I know canasta, yes. Play with two
Yeah.
decks of cards.
And you know canasta, Sean?
Canasta was the first game that my grandma taught me as like an adult card game because we used to play Uno for years as kids. And then she's like, oh, do you want to learn something more advanced? So we learned canasta.
Nice. It's a 2-player team. It's a 4-player game, but 2 teams usually.
Similar to Bridge, yeah.
It's similar to Bridge.
2 and 2. It's a lovely game.
And so Soren will organize it so that Oswald and Soren will be on the same team, and Bobby and his father will be on the same team, so that they might better connect with each other. Because it just seems like they're both a little inconsiderate towards each other. They're not aware of each other's needs or wants. And so I'm going to give them this game as a way of shifting their perspective, change them fundamentally.
Yes.
And I'll spend a token to do that.
A moment, shared moment, where they're on the same side, working towards the same thing, to remind them of their connection. Because they are not fundamentally estranged, but they are obviously having different. And this is way through a counterpoint to their day-to-day lives that they would never have reached on their own. Lovely way to spend a token. Can you tell me a little bit about your how Oswald experiences the game? Is this going over their head? Do they notice what is happening and the fact that it was set in mind?
Absolutely. They're curious and studious. They are quite it's not that they are unintelligent, it's just that they are often sheltered and often distracted. But it kind of has the same impact on Oswald that it is intended to for the others, which is to give focus. And obviously Oswald was in his own way attempting to bring kindness to the other two, but has noticed that Soren has done it in a way that has also brought the father to the table. And I think as Oswald acknowledges this, he also acknowledges that it hopefully, or at least in his mind, is having the same effect with himself and Soren. They view this as a way to connect with Soren that heretofore they have not, because in their mind, oh, Soren can have fun as well. Because I imagine there were instances where he has asked Soren to play with him. And he'll probably just use those terms. Would you like to play a game? And that's been no, come on, let's continue along, let's go. And this was not only are they playing a game, this was instigated by Soren. So there's an extra sense of joy, excitement. Yeah. So it's exciting.
It's revealing something also to you about Soren that you unexpected as well.
Yes.
Yes, that's quite nice. You go through a game, and it wraps up, and a new candle has to be brought out at some point.
Nah, fireflies, baby.
He goes to bring out a new candle. You have your firefly take over instead.
Just sits above the table, shining light down,
and illuminating your faces. A glint in an eye, a smile, a sly. Oh, I think I know. Perfect card to play. Look. And the first game wraps up, and Bobby instinctively goes to say, "Okay, good night then." And his father goes, Perhaps we'll deal another game. You've only just gotten used to the rules. Now you can play in full knowledge of Soren. I'm Reginald.
Reginald.
Deal again if you.
And Soren, another hand. I think Soren also notices Oswald's like chipperness, or like positive vibes that he's giving. It's like, hey, this guy can be fun. He can play games, and is remains standoffish as a result.
I think it's like a.
He's seeing me.
Yeah.
I'm being
Stop deceiving me.
Stop.
I think it's an interesting. You know what it is? It's that because much like a pigeon, Oswald usually in their chippiness and exuberance is quite still stiff and almost anxious in how they express their happiness. This is a weirdly relaxed Oswald. Like he's relaxed, which is very different. It's like a different sort of happiness, and I think that's what you pick up on. It's like, oh, it's still happy, positive, like almost annoyingly so dripping with positivity, but there's a relaxation and a calm about it that I think is what you pick up on.
Yeah, I think Soren makes a kind of like whistling noise. And the firefly just shifts over your head a little bit more, and away from Soren to cast him more in shadow.
A little bit. Stop.
It's just like, don't do that. You can still see his eyes because they're bright, shining things that pierce dark, which is why he doesn't really need the firefly in the first place. But he doesn't love that you're looking at him so nicely.
I love you, Dad. Whoops. I mean.
The second game begins to wind to a close, and the evening, it's not, the dead of night, but it's later in the evening for sure now.
Late for goats, apparently.
Well, it's late for kids who have work.
I know. We went from OCD in character. Oh, yes, of course. I suppose we should be getting on as
No.
well.
No. You'll stay in here. The boy will go back up to. And Bobby is vanished. You hear him patter up the stairs. But there's a kind of happiness. There's a kind of joy in those feet running off to bed. If he crept down the stairs, he runs or leaps back up them.
Gallops, bounds,
clops up the stairs. Bounds is a great word for goat. Off he goes, and Reggie pulls himself to his feet or his foot and crutches, and takes you to room off to the side. It's very humble. He opens the door, and there are a couple of straw mattresses, with blankets and things. Obviously, passers-by do come here, and this is somewhere that they can stay. It's not luxurious, but it's not squalid. It's not horrible. It's just very simple.
It feels like what the first Moth Tower would have. It was in its past and still in its presence, a haven for people to come forward and rest their weary feet.
If you need anything, you can wake me. Please don't.
We'll be fine. Thank you, Reginald. Thank you for your hospitality.
Yes.
Soren, Oswald, thank you for the game.
Thank you for playing with us.
Quite all right. Oh, so much to do tomorrow. Hear him grumbling to himself as he walks away, almost insisting upon his grumpiness that you had started to erode. He's sort of gathering it back around him like a protective shell, as his light retreats into the darkness, and you hear the closing of a door, the falling of a latch, as he finds his own. You find yourselves in your humble little room with your straw pallets, some fresh water, some earthenware vessels to drink from.
Soren, do you think we might, at least for the morning, stay and help them out with what needs tending? I've never done the work before, but it seems as though they might appreciate the help. Would be a nice thank you for the bed and the food.
The kid can help. We have letters to look after. This is a tower for moths, isn't it?
Oh yes.
So
the
there
letters
are
will always
probably
be there.
letters, right?
But they're always letters.
So you should go do your job.
Oh yes.
Not?
Yes, I just feel that we were shown lovely grace and hospitality, and the letters will go where they are intended. But in the meantime, we are here. We are where we're meant to be. Could we not be where we are meant to be for just a few hours more to ease the toil?
Let's not make grace a bit of barter by trying to trade for it.
Oh.
Let's just accept it. It was kind to us. Reginald was kind to us. The kid had fun. We were accepted in. We'll do our duty, and then if we are asked for help, we can help. If we see something immediately that needs to be done, we can do it. But trying to repay a favor is never a good thing.
It feels good.
That's why it's never a good thing. Why are you doing it? To help or to feel good?
Because I want to.
If you want to, I'm not going to stop you. I'm just giving you my opinion.
You're welcome to join.
Thank you. Thanks for the offer.
There's like
get some sleep.
There's like a note of sadness as he kind of lets it peter off. Kind of like nods, and you feel him like ruffle himself around, and then pops a wing over his face, and with a big deep sigh, attempts to get some rest.
Soren will whisper to the firefly. don't forget. You have a duty, and so do I. Don't let things get personal. Work is work. And he will stay up as long as he can or needs to, as befitting an owl, and probably look out over the swamp.
I believe that's you saying
if there's a window. Yeah. To my
It definitely wasn't for yourself at all.
Not at all.
Definitely for your firefly.
The fireflies definitely can hear things and are totally sentient and are not at all mirrors to with reflect my character's insecurities, thoughts, and opinion. Not at all.
Birdsong. He replaces croaking of frogs as light creeps into the high window room as daybreak. You're not woken or summoned or anything like that. You're allowed to wake up.
I think Oswald is going to take a rare instance of initiative and kind of like forward thinking, something that he's learnt from Soren, and I'm looking to it's something that let me just quickly read. He's going to you know what it is? He's going to attempt to wake up even earlier than he feels they would, and tries to do some work upon the land before the others have woken up. He wants to kind of like almost by himself. If Soren doesn't join, he's going to toil in the field and do his best to make things easier for them before they wake.
You're going to go out into the garden, basic garden work outside?
Yeah, Sean doesn't have the ability to describe it, as Sean is useless when it comes to
early spring work. Well, this is the
outdoor activities.
Soil, so perhaps you turn over a patch, take a spade and begin turning over soil, where it's starting to thaw, to be turned over, ready to be sown new.
Yeah, I think he works diligently, and he works to exhaustion. He works like hard and without a break throughout the night and until they eventually wake, I would assume. Gets as much done as pigeonly possible.
So you as you're finishing up, you hear familiar from last night, kind of grumpy growling thing of Bobby by Reginald. You hear clattering of earthenware plates, that as the household starts to wake up. Can't discern anything particular, but it's definitely back to the kind of mode that you had last night.
Yeah,
for sure. Soren?
Soren sleeps in.
Eventually, you are unable to sleep anymore because of the kind of the noise, the cantankerous semi-shouting, we'll say.
Yeah.
At that point, you're pulled out of your rest. Becomes untenable to sort of lie there listening to it. And similarly, a hard-working pigeon comes in at the front door at the same time as you are forced to kind of finally leave. And the thing both of you notice as you into the sort of kitchen area is a dark mood has taken Reggie, and his hand, one of his hands, is tightly gripping the leg above the knee, where it's the leg is missing. There's a sort of a whiteness to his knuckles as he's holding that leg. It's the only kind of physical sign that you can see about him, but it's not hidden well enough not to be instantly noticeable by both of you.
Right.
Oh, huh. Sir, are you all right?
Yes, I'm fine. I'm fine.
Forgive my forwardness. You don't seem fine. You seem hurt, in pain.
Well, what I seem is no business of yours. I will be fine as soon as the boy finishes bringing last night's deliveries downstairs.
Oh. Absolutely.
And you have at least one more bundle, don't you, boy? Yes, father, yes. And he runs off up the stairs. On the table are several letters and small boxes haphazardly piled. They've been brought in by the moths last night. And
would you mind if I helped sort? I very much do enjoy this sort of work, and I would, if you wouldn't mind. He kind of takes a tentative step forward, but is not obviously going to engage with the work. But you can see his eyes slightly light up at the prospect of work that he is naturally good at.
Do what you want. You get it done faster than the boy might. Maybe he can do something else useful around here.
Thank you. And he'll pop himself forward, and spreading his hands upon the table will start the tedious work of checking, sorting, placing labels together, and kind of placing them in their appropriate bundles and stacks, ready to go out.
The city, some are going south.
Yeah, it's more geographically
into the mountains. Some need going far enough that they'll need another leg of moth journey. Some perhaps might be going in the same direction. Sorry, what do you do?
Reginald, are you sure you don't need a hand?
What could you possibly do?
Right.
What could you do for an old goat with a dodgy leg and a lazy son?
Well, the lazy son part, that's just not true. You and I both know that. No, this leg of yours, obviously, we can't do miracles, but...
Fine.
No, it's not. Don't be silly.
What are you, a healer?
Yeah. And I'll grab my box of medical supplies and just sit down by his leg and start work.
He obviously meant that as a sarcastic dig at you. And then you're like, yes, actually.
Yeah.
And you know when you do that to people, they don't like it, but they can't...
Mm-hmm.
It kind of cuts them off.
Yeah.
So he allows you because he can't think of a way to disallow you.
Mm.
Because if he'd gone, well, no, not really, but I know stuff, he'd be like, well, don't bother then.
Yeah.
But when you just went, yes, he's kind of stuck. And lets you end him.
Soren?
What?
Well, I have something that could help with that.
Good.
He rummages through his where was it? And he's talking as he explains. Well, you see, a while ago, I was delivered I had a message which I was to deliver to a leader of a rebellion. Unfortunately, when I did arrive there, the rebellion in question had been, how to put it delicately, squashed. So there was no need to, give the package in turn. However, I do hold on to them because, well, a letter must always be delivered, and a package must always be delivered, and well, and he, without the answer to the end of that sentence, is he brings up a small kind of like pristine bottle. It's a glass bottle, and it's got kind of green and pink flowing liquid within. It's in my package, as I alluded to, it's a bottle of rare and important medicine. And he kind of like tentatively hands it over to Soren. Package delivered.
Thank you, Oswald. Right.
You both get tokens. Soren, you get a token for offering to help. No expectation of return, and a token for you giving something with a to you.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll look at the goat. Reggie. I was gonna say Arthur, but it's not right. Reginald. Reginald, you're going to drink this, and then I'm going to do a bit of work on your leg. You're going to drink this.
It smells foul.
Yes, it does. That's what makes good medicine. Now drink.
I know.
Drink. Right, good. And I will like remove the probably like scar tissue, or maybe a bit of like.
I think what you do is like you unwrap it, like the stump is wrapped.
Okay, yeah, I unwrap that
and then
shit.
perhaps you have like an ointment or something that you can rub in there.
Yep.
That kind of helps with the pain.
Yep. Yeah, that's cool. Yeah.
And then I don't know if you know how to maybe lightly manipulate the leg to sort of ease some of the muscles and stuff.
Yeah, and I think I cut his walking stick down by like 2 inches.
Yeah,
it's much too high.
Yeah, it's been up under his armpits. You can tell.
Yeah,
like it's too high. The crutches are too high.
Yeah. Or at least one of them is maybe it's the wrong. It's the wrong balance.
So that's causing him pain that he didn't. That he's been lopsided.
Yeah.
And while you're working, Bobby comes back down the stairs with a few letters more.
A few bullets.
He drops on the table, and then, what are you doing for father?
Leg.
Been in a lot of pain. No, I haven't. Has.
That should stop soon. Doctor's orders means 1 game of cards each night and ointment applied in the morning and evening.
Been telling him he needs to take better care of it, but he won't listen to me. Been meaning to send for the city for a healer, but he said no, worth the expense. Thank you.
Don't do that.
Just accept the thanks, Soren.
Fine. You're welcome.
You've done my sorting for me.
Oh, yes. I hope you don't mind. I just, if you like, you can feel free to look at.
Boring.
Oh, no.
It is, Dad. I don't like it. It's boring.
No. Look at this. You can make a game of it. See, what I've done is I set them where they're meant to go, because every letter has to go somewhere, but you can go from as far away as the eye can see. I also like to imagine who might be receiving them. You never know what furious or wondrous or wicked people might be receiving these letters, but you might
Who's
be
getting
able to
this
guess.
one? He takes like a box and he shakes it like
but
too hard.
we must be careful.
Oh, sorry. But who's getting this one?
Oh,
What's in
perhaps
it?
a king? I don't know. Would be a
The king?
love letter?
You think this one's for the king? Maybe.
Maybe. But you know what's important? That they do receive it. And that is what we do. We make sure the letters reach their destination. It's important work. It might be tedious. It might be boring at times, but it comes with a purpose. We are facilitators of that purpose.
Oh, I don't think that's my purpose, though. It's what you've been given to do. And when I'm not here, who's going to do it? Right, Dad. That's me. It's what I'll do it. Yeah. I've got to take these ones back up to travel onto the city. So I'll just take this bundle back up. Hit the stairs, and off he goes. He doesn't want to be here. This isn't the life he wants.
He will.
He wants to travel like you do.
Of course he does.
No, I'm just keeping him here.
No, you're
Trapped.
not.
Tilling the soil, running up and down those stairs because I can't do it. And he doesn't want it.
He doesn't want to
what's
be
in
here
his
because you
books.
don't want to be here.
That hits.
The only reason he wants people to...
That lands. That's really concise and it lands. He's like, holy shit, I don't want to be here.
Because he's in pain all the time.
Yeah, absolutely. But he doesn't... None of these things are clear to him. But he understands truth when it's told to him.
Sure.
He just hasn't found it himself. Because it's been a long chill. Him and his boy. And things have gotten worse. His boy has gotten more wanderlust and he's gotten more cantankerous. The chill is very bad for his pain. Very bad for his pain. And so that's clouded his judgment. And when he says, you don't want to be here, you don't want to be here. Shame. Same after she died.
Oh.
All reminds me of her.
If not here, where would you be?
City I haven't called on in a long time. But I can't travel the roads.
Why not?
Travel the hollow. Look at me.
Well, yes. There are always ways, and if Soren's work is as good as it looks to be, well, perhaps this is a new opportunity. You could take a trip.
In a wagon, maybe. Not walking.
No.
Absolutely.
Letters to your friends.
This is the tension of stagnation here. The swamp. He's bogged down. Can't go anywhere. Yes.
Wow. Themes.
Yes.
Call your friends. Write to them. You have them come to you.
You know what? You could give me a letter.
There you are.
I could take it to the city. I know the city. I was just there.
Well,
You're not
hold
going
on
back
now.
there.
We're
The
not going
moths
back
will take
there.
it to the city. It's all right.
I don't see why
It's
I
been
couldn't.
too long, and have written to me. I've not. Boy, back down the stairs. I'll need quill and ink, paper. I have letters of. Uncle Baron's coming to stay, isn't he? Yes, I'll write to Uncle Baron. And the boy rushes off, fetches his things. Oh, can you tell him this? Can you tell him about the pumpkin that we grew? Can you tell him about our gourds? Can you tell him about the spirit? Yes. Very good. And he gets to writing. Your work sorting is finished. There are a number of letters to look at that you see going in your direction. Can you tell me about one of them? Sean.
Yeah, sure. Have a look.
You can suggest, you can make things up, or you can take from the list of your character sheet.
I thought it might be good to take from my list of ones that I hadn't seen. I think that one is a summons from the King of the Floating Mountain for a... Oh. I'm going to use this one for the proper mayor of a hidden village. So I'm just going to actually... Yeah.
So what is it?
Yeah.
It is a...
It is a summons from the King of the... what is it called? A summons from the King of the Floating Mountain for the proper mayor of a hidden village.
The boy, this letter, this scroll comes before you. The boy leaves his collaboration with his father and at your shoulder, and he says, "Is that the seal of the King of the Float?"
I told you. Some letters come from and to kings all the time. I don't actually know, but I know roughly the direction. It will find its way.
That's amazing.
It's a mystery, often. I never quite know where I will go, where I will find myself. But often I can find myself, by often, I mean all the time, find myself anywhere, such as a tower with a very interesting young boy, and his father who...
him.
Oh, I did. I am right now. He gives like a little... Sorry, I'm not very good at explaining myself sometimes.
Oh, man.
Of course you are. Everyone is.
For being kind.
Oh, well.
Know that he's a bit rough. Means well.
And thank you for being kind to us.
Well,
I found that
Heath wouldn't work if you weren't kind. That's what Mum used to say.
I found that not everyone is kind, but it does make things a lot easier if you are.
That means you're leaving then?
Yes, shortly. But as a little secret, I did do some work out on the field, so at least a little bit will be easier this morning. If I've done it a very bad job, I do apologize.
Oh, if you've done a bad job, just fix it up. It's okay.
See? Kindness.
And takes a second, looks at you, Lauren, and he wants to say something but can't, and instead he just rushes up to you and buries his face in your feathers of your side. He gives you a really big hug, and you can tell that he's kind of hiding that he's crying or starting to cry.
Fine. Fine. Yes, good. Great.
The game.
Yes, it was lovely. Canasta
Come
is
back
fun.
this way, please.
Yes, I'm
Canasta
sure
with us again.
we'll stop in. Yes.
Thanks,
Very
Uncle
dark in
Soren.
this. Oh. Soren looks to his firefly and gestures over it for him to pet.
Now,
Sleepy.
That-
It's very sleepy firefly.
Yeah.
Does a little nuzzle.
Yeah, he brings up his thing and
Yeah.
pats it in its thing and doesn't.
now, that is beautiful.
Sure. As long as it's subjective.
Open the door to the tower, and the garden in front of the tower is laid out before you. New letters in your pouch. The mist that was lying over the Dylan's Hollow is starting to bake off in the sun and just clear up. Strike out on your journey once more. The land starts to climb away from you, taking you out of this stagnant bog, back rolling hills of heath, and your journey continue on there. The end.
Yay!
Nice.
Yeah. Thanks very much, guys.
What
That was
a
good.
what a calm, cozy little tale.
Lovely little
Yeah,
tale.
cute.
And I think for me, what's lovely about it is that you can have. Thanks, Bronx.
Thanks, Bronx.
You can have a game that is very pastoral, very gentle and kind, but still has conflict and issues and problems to be solved.
Yes.
Yeah. It was
And
nice.
and as it kind of like talks about in the game, not everything has to be solved. In fact, you kind of have to get used to the idea of like you are just passing through and you can't solve everything.
The boy still doesn't want to be a moth keeper. Right?
Yeah.
He still doesn't want to stay there.
Yeah.
The father is still going to be in pain.
Yeah.
So
The sentence "keep walking" is great in that
Yeah.
regard.
keep walking. I like that a lot. I thought it was very nice.
Hmm.
So thank you very much for being part of it, guys. If you are still here, you're watching the stream, do hit a like. That helps a lot.
Or if you're watching the videos,
Yes,
that helps as well.
Give us a like. That helps a lot. Tell your friends if you enjoyed it to go watch some more of our streams or listen to the podcast. That is all Voltacast is in the middle of the screen right now.
Yes.
Seasons of actual play goodness across a whole gamut of different games with different storytellers, soundtracks every time. We also have a Patreon, which is on the screen. Our Patreon help support what we do and vote on our game each month as well from a set of choices.
Yes.
We also have a Discord, community Discord, so you should be able to search for Rotcast to find us. We have a public area and a members area as well, so anyone can join that. And
There's
in
a
there
link
you'll
in the
find
bio.
links in the bio, and you can also find links to our affiliates on our Discord as well. We're partnered with you lovely people. We get code Rollcast, you get discounts, and also well.
Yeah,
we'll
Chronicle
enumerate
Cards,
them.
Arkenforge.
That's
yeah.
right. Chronicle Cards, Arkenforge, and the minis one, which escapes my brain right now.
Sure, and also it's just gonna
Eldritch
quickly-
Foundry.
Eldritch Foundry, that's one.
Eldritch Foundry.
So they're custom minis, a bit like your Hero Forge. So yeah, it's another great way to support us. Otherwise, we will be back next month. I believe Ellen
is taking the reins, so Ellen will come up with some choices. We'll pop them on the Patreon to be voted for. And there is always at higher tiers the ability to be able to play with us as well. And yeah, we always do this. We generally try to do this at the last Sunday for Australian time, last Sunday of every month, which for Americans is generally the Saturday night. So last weekend of the month is when we play these one-shots, and it's an opportunity for us to play games, generally speaking, outside of the oeuvre of what we usually do, or they sometimes are us returning to old favorites. So just kind of depends. We kind of try to put a bit of a mix and match both in our choices and depending on who is taking it, because depending on who is taking the GM role or the storyteller role, it's their choices that they put up. So yeah, it's a good instance to either see a game you haven't played before or haven't watched before, or would like to see done more.
Same for us, really.
Yeah.
Is there anything else, guys?
No, not really. Other than to say, if you know someone that would really enjoy what we do, or would enjoy listening to us, please follow. Get them to follow along. Get them to check out Roll to Cast, whether it is this one shot, the VOD, or honestly our podcast. That's the way for us to get the word out and to kind of get more eyes and ears on what we do.
Yeah, podcast is the big one. Tell a friend about the podcast.
Yeah.
Yeah. I've been Phil.
Otherwise, I've been Sean.
That was Chris.
So much, guys.
Have a lovely weekend, everyone.
Catch ya. Enjoy. Thanks, Bronx. Have a good one.
Water.